I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I did a video on building enduring businesses and relationships. And I told you that you need the following T's, as in time. You need trust, you need truthfulness, you need tenacity, you need tact, and you need thrust to be able to build sustainable businesses and sustainable relationships. You must see your life as an investment that is designed to yield profit. The profit is the prosperity or the benefits you have from your relationship with people and in your transaction. Remember, I said that business is relationship. Relationships are also businesses. When you are married, you are in a business of marriage. So we are all businessmen and women, and we are all in relationships. But I want to look at three issues in details. Number one, truthfulness. Number two, trust. Number three, tact. Not in that order. Now, trust is faith in your statements, faith in your promises, and faith in your ability. So, you make a statement, I'll be there by 9 o'clock. If you are to be trusted, by 9 o'clock, somebody will be waiting for you. And if you can't keep to time, people can't trust you to do businesses with you. And then it is also faith in your capacity. I will deliver these clothes by Friday. And by Friday, the person expecting them will come. And if they are not available, then the person will not trust you next time. So trust becomes a brand when you are consistently trustworthy. That means to say somebody can attach value to trusting you. That is called being trustworthy. You are worth it. You deserve it. Being trustworthy. It is a reputation that you build over time. I have been selling real estate, and lots of people have bought properties from me, trusting me. The value they have put on my trust makes me trustworthy, the worth that follows. If you are close to a rich man, you have a brother that is wealthy, you have friends that are wealthy, you have schoolmates that are wealthy, and they don't seem to commit finances into your hands and responsibilities into your hands, that means you are not trustworthy. And if you are not trustworthy, you cannot be wealthy. That's the reality. I was just imagining how much people have committed into my hands over the years. It runs into millions of naira. And it is something that you must cultivate. There's something called trust capital. If you want to buy goods from people and you don't have enough, you can give them what you have, and they can give you all you need, believing you will pay. That is how one of the ways we build many of our properties. We could pay deposits. They will supply us tiles. They will supply us cement. They will supply us several things. And we paid all. We have paid all. I can't remember who I am owing. And we don't owe workers' salaries since 1988 that we started business. So it's built over time. Trust is a priceless asset. You can't quantify it. It will bring in so much, so much. If they mention your name and you're involved in a thing, people are relaxed. People are ready to invest. People are ready to be committed. When I was appealing for aid for flood disasters, for the flood victims, I quoted my account number and people paid lots of money into it. And we made sure we spent those monies. I have the records. And we distributed those materials and did videographic evidence to show to people. One of the days, my granddaughter came to the house and there was a carton of noodles left. And my wife called me, "Can I open that carton of noodles and cook one for your granddaughter?" I said, "Never. My granddaughter is not a flood victim. Go and buy for her." Trust. And if you are to be trusted, you must be ready to offend some people close to you who will want you to bend the rules. I told my daughter that we were traveling by 2 p.m. Is it 2 p.m. or 12 p.m.? I can't remember. And I told the driver, he's now working for me, that the cab I hired, that he was coming to carry me by that time. A general overseer was to go with us. And I told him, by that time, I will leave. I reminded my daughter. She said she will be ready. By that time, she was not ready. I didn't call her, just entered the cab with my load and left her. I had traveled for about 30 kilometers, then my wife called. Where are you? I told her I was close to Patani. Then she gave the phone to my granddaughter and she was saying, "Daddy, where are you?" I had gone. The next time I told them we were traveling, she started hurrying her mother a day before. You know, Daddy, he will leave you. Daddy will leave you. Daddy will leave you. And so they prepared on time. I didn't care whether my granddaughter cried. I didn't care whether my wife phoned. No. They eventually came to meet me where I went to. So, trust is such that, as I just said, it's a priceless capital with a glorious future ahead. We must have this consciousness, because what leads to breach of trust is very, very infinitesimal compared to the glorious future that is ahead. So it's an opportunity cost. What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? Let's assume your soul is the priceless gift. Gain is the immediate reward, while profit is the long-term reward. So don't, because of immediate gratification and immediate gain, deny yourself of a glorious future. I had a man who was much older than I was, or we were contemporaries. Very wealthy man. He started business in the north. And one rich northerner in Nigeria will send him to go and buy a product. He will buy that product and come with more quantity than the ones that the fellow Muslims of that northerner used to buy for him. And he did that consistently and then built trust. And the elderly northerner told him, say, my son, the name of your company will not give you businesses in the north because of your Igbo name in the beginning of your name. He said, take the first letters of this your present company, use it to form a company name. And he did that. And he started getting businesses in the north with governors and all that and governments. So because trust was generated, the man became trustworthy and he became wealthy. So you now see that it is trust is very essential. In the parable of talent, the rich man said, the master said, come into my rest. This wealthy northerner was able to bring an Igbo man without discriminating against him because he was trustworthy and brought him into his rest. So, there is a glorious future if you are trustworthy. You must never be desperate and avoid desperate people. Desperate people will put you under pressure to breach trust. The foundation of trust is truthfulness. Truthfulness is when you have built capacity in such a way that you state what is A as A. You don't falsify, you don't deceive, you don't trick. So, being truthful, when you develop the capacity to speak the truth, to say the truth, you have what is called truthfulness because you are filled with truth. Truth fills you. So, truthfulness. Truth is like a rock. It does not need maintenance. If you see Zuma Rock in Abuja, it does not need maintenance. You don't need to fertilize it. You don't need to weed around it. You don't need to paint it. It is there as Zuma Rock. The Rock of Gibraltar has been there. Kilimanjaro has been there. Rock. They stand elegantly, stand erect. But lies will require a lot of lies, further lies, to maintain it. When you are not authentic, as I will speak on later, you need a lot of trickery, a lot of fake life to maintain that lie and unreliability. So you see that lies require a lot of maintenance. For somebody like me that does not have a good memory, I forget easily. So I just say the thing as it is, because I will not remember what I have said. So I don't need to think again to know what to say if somebody is asking me. If you deal with people who have lived in Europe and you deal with foreigners, the Caucasians, they always remember every statement you make. And they will remind you years later, but you said that. So, trust takes a long time to build. And it should be guarded. It should be guarded. One of the greatest fears I have in life, somebody asked me during the live broadcast, what's my greatest fear? My greatest fear is that the integrity, the reputation, the trust I have built over years should not be destroyed by one mistake. And my greatest fear is that when I entrust things to people to do on my behalf, because of my age and my schedule, let them not betray me and put me in a bad light. I have had to pay for some services twice because those who I gave money to pay did not pay. And instead of me to create a bad impression in the sight of my clients, I preferred to suffer loss. I always tell those who care that any student that finishes from my school, his certificate is what he merited. His certificate is what he got from his brains. We never ever do exam malpractice. I always tell people I don't do adultery, and I always guard against it. I take precautions because one simple mistake of 5 minutes of sexual rascality and adventurism will destroy all your spent time to build. There is a joke that pastors went for a meeting and one guest preacher came and preached powerfully about holiness and then talked about adultery and said that if you have not come, when they said, let's stand up to pray, and they stood up to pray. And he said, if you have not committed adultery since you got married, and you are among us here, pastor, please pray for us. They waited and waited, no person prayed. And they said they are still there waiting for somebody to pray. So it's as serious as that. I spoke to some men that I don't do adultery. The men went and started asking each other, is it possible? One went and told another, asked another man's wife, do you think you are the only woman? And these are church folks. These are Pentecostals. And so, don't follow the crowd. Don't be under pressure. Guard your heart. Jealously guard your heart. Out of it, spring the issues of life. To build trust, your words must be few. If you talk people will not trust you. If you must build trust, your promises must be realistic. Don't make big promises you cannot keep. The reason people don't trust politicians is that they will promise that they will air condition the city. They will fence the country. Politicians don't keep promises because they talk too much. And don't be desperate to impress people. I am not sure I can finish this work by so time. I don't know if I will be present in the ceremony. I don't have enough to give you now. Don't make promises. I know somebody, he will promise. He hardly keeps his promises because he wants to impress people as if it is there and it is not there. One governor said, if it did not day, it did not day. Don't try to impress people. Don't make promises when you are excited. Don't make vows when you are excited. You preach and preach and preach. You can't make vows. And you make vows all over the place and you don't pay. You are not trustworthy. Don't make promises when you are excited. And don't try to react when you are angry. If you are a businessman and you render services, take as much as you can handle within a specified time. Don't, because of greed, take too many appointments. It includes gospel musicians. Don't book several engagements that you will not keep. And then you send people down to represent you. Even as guest speakers, try as much as possible to take engagements that you have time to handle. Some conditions will arise that you might need to send somebody to represent you, but let them know in advance. Let truthfulness become a brand. Let people know you for that. Behave as if you don't have a good memory, as I said, so you don't need to remember what you have said. And you should be thoughtful before you speak. Truthfulness does not negate the fact that you should exercise discretion. You must not give out every information concerning your business, concerning everything, to prove that you are truthful. There are some things that you must withhold to maintain relationships for your safety and the safety of others. The Hebrew midwives that saved the male children in Egypt did not tell Pharaoh everything. They said that the Hebrew women deliver very quickly. That's the truth. But they didn't go further. So, Abraham did not tell Sarah the whole thing, the whole information about going to sacrifice Isaac. Till today, we will still have been separating that quarrel. He didn't tell Sarah everything. Even God the Father did not tell God the Son everything. If not, he would not have said, Father, why have you forsaken me? He did not tell him the day that he was going to come back. If he told him, very few people around that time will ever get saved. Because some people will say they will commit sin till the last day before they will get saved. Some can even kill people and repent 2 minutes to that time. And imagine those owing people, there will be so much fight. Come and pay me my money. There was a time that one man predicted that the world was going to end. The catastrophe that followed was enormous. People tied wings on their cows so that they can have milk in heaven. People were doing test flights. All kinds of commotion took place. And that day passed, nothing happened. So, he didn't tell God this, didn't tell Jesus when he was going to come back. So God withheld some details. Even Jesus did not teach his disciples, he that is the truth, did not teach the disciples everything or tell them everything. It is when we will meet him that we will know everything in full. How do you react to broken trust? God reacted to Abraham's broken trust. And God said in Genesis chapter 18, verse 19, he said, I know Abraham, that he will teach his children. He will command his children and their children to live according to the word that I'm teaching him, I've taught him. So God trusted Abraham, but Abraham slept with a house girl under pressure from Sarah. Sometimes, if people disappoint you, if they breach trust, try to be thoughtful and understand them and put yourself in their shoes. The next thing is that Peter betrayed Jesus. Jesus did not make it a common reminder. He knew the weaknesses of Peter, the humanity of Peter. Jesus and his disciples went to pray. They were sleeping because they were tired. Very disappointing. But Jesus understood their humanity. God and David messed up with Bathsheba and killed Uriah. But God understood David's heart. Even though he disappointed God, he always fell in the direction of God. Create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit within me. Take me not away from your presence, O Lord. So, David's heart was always inclined towards God. There was a time he did a census when he was not supposed to do a census. God was angry, but God still said David was a man after his own heart. So, realize that life is an average. Trust, disappointment, performance, like that. It's an average. When you take an average of a person's life and you see that the person has been consistently trustworthy and there is a shortcoming somewhere, try and understand that person, try and understand the circumstances. If not, you cannot relate with any person. Number 2, we are flesh and we are vulnerable. Don't put trust on this flesh. It is bound to fail. So what do? Secure your end. When you give money to somebody, let the person count the money in your presence, issue you a receipt, document it. When I was doing some transactions, real estate transactions, I would give money to some people on trust, and then they would deny that they won't pay for the thing and what? So what I do, if I give you a check, I will write what I gave the check to you for and the details. And recently, there was a survey that I had paid for. I didn't see it, but I had the date that I paid for it and the check that I issued. And so they did it for me. So keep records, because your memory might be short. You might not be alive all the time. Keep records. Number 2, cross-check details. I give you an example. If you want to go and change foreign currency in Nigeria, they will tell you somebody can tell you $1 is 900 naira. Other people are maybe exchanging for 850. You will now go to the man that wants to change dollar for 900 naira to $1. By the time you give the person your dollars, he will go inside and come back and tell you that his master said that he will change for 650. And out of anger, you will collect dollars from him. You won't know that they have exchanged your original dollars for fake ones. So, if you buy dollars from some people, they have a stamp that is stamped on it. That stamp shows that they are the ones that sold. And then before you give people your dollars, write the serial numbers down and show the man the serial numbers. These are the serial numbers of your dollars. And then give to him. If he returns them, if they don't match, if you buy dollars from any person, let him issue you a receipt for the dollars you bought and the numbers, because you can be arrested overseas with fake currency, and you might end up in prison. Don't make yourself vulnerable. If you are in an airport, don't carry luggage for any person. Don't help any person to carry any baby. Let every person carry their own luggages. If you are in a plane, don't be too familiar with any passenger, particularly elderly ladies and beautiful ladies. Don't help them to carry anything. Don't let any person call you my daughter. Don't tell any person your name, your full name, and your details in the plane if you are going outside Nigeria or outside your country. It will save your life. Be very careful not to bring every person into your space. Learn to put checks and balances in your relationship with people so that they don't mess you up. And if they mess you up once, if you still need them, take precautions in relating with them and don't give them activities and opportunities that they can use to mess up your life. And remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. Subscribe to this channel, press the like button, share it with others, and you can join my WhatsApp group by sending a message to the administrator, WhatsApp message +234 70 52 13 6763. There are strict rules in that group. I just sacked somebody from that group because he was advertising rubbish there. And then you can go to my online bookshop, petrapublications.com, and follow me on Facebook. God bless you and bless you. I want to thank the young man that sent this stand for my recording from the United States of America. In the pack, there are 3 sets inside, three different sets. And I had to give out the one I had before to somebody else who needed. As I received, I gave to that person. I want to especially thank one woman. She listened to me on radio, Quest FM. You can download that application, Quest TV and radio, and you can listen to me every Wednesday by 6:30 a.m. Nigerian time, or you can download the application Mega FM 89.1. and you will listen to me on Tuesday by 6:30 a.m. One of the ladies that listened to me said that she will send me recharge card, that's is it data now, a token for my phone, that she was going to the market, so she must be a petty trader. And she went and came back and sent me 1,000 naira airtime. I can't express my gratitude enough because I know what it takes or what it took from her total trading money. Madam, God bless you, bless you, bless you. And I want to thank all those who have sent in gifts and sent in different materials. God bless you. I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki.